Welcome to 13 minutes of news in 13 minutes or under. You guys probably already know that I had 2 teeth removed, my 2 back molars on the bottom, and my jawline's still in a lot of pain. The next day after that, on Monday, I had that done. On Tuesday, I started coming down with COVID and tested positive for that. I'm already feeling better. I have had COVID in the past, and I'm already feeling better. My son only had it for like 3 days. So that part, the COVID feverish thing is already gone or going away very quickly, and the chills and all that, the stuff that comes with a mild COVID. But the teeth stuff and my jawline is still in pain. However, I am able to talk right now. It's just that when it gets up around the evening, it gets hard. First of all, thank you to Hannibal, Darby, Gary, Middleton, Kim, Schwartz, and John Dash for doing the rodeo roundtable for me. I did show up in the studio and I was ready to roll, but I wasn't. And Hannibal knew it, and Hannibal basically, without telling me what to do, Hannibal kind of nudged me and in the right way for sure. It would have not gone well for me had I done it. And I probably would have started, but I wouldn't have made that whole conversation. In fact, I fell asleep. I didn't even see it till like the next morning. But I want to give just major kudos. Those guys crushed it. And there was a couple times that if you watched it where they were like, oh, what is this? And they tried to go through it. I'm going to go through it one more time tonight before tomorrow's live stream. And then I will, in the very beginning of the live stream tomorrow, I will just bring up the few points that I think they were looking for the answers to too. They just, they didn't have it, in front of them. But I also want to let you guys know how good they all did. You guys all know how good they all did, but Hannibal and Gary were given my first round of notes, which is always very lengthy. And then I take it down to bullet points. So, how he rolled through that well, I'm pretty impressed, because that was just like my scratchings to then take better bullet point notes. So again, those guys did a great job. I will touch on a few of the things that were crossed over but not fully addressed tomorrow during the live stream, so join in. That's I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific. Normally runs anywhere from 90, right around an hour and a half. But if we go a little under or over, it's fine. Tomorrow I'm going to try and target about an hour. But the last couple times we've gone 2 hours. So maybe as long as I'm not having to do as much of the talking and some other people join in, I might last a little longer. So, 2 hours is the max. At 2 hours, I close it down. So, but we'll see. Some quick little news. Let's run through some stuff. First one is kind of a funny story. So I don't know if you guys know this, or if you saw this in the news, but there was a 4-year-old, and if you have kids, you'll appreciate this story because it's pretty weird. The 4-year-old took his grandmother's app, okay, and got on Uber Eats and ordered $230 in Starbucks. So, but it gets better, guys. So he ordered $230 on Uber Eats on Starbucks through his grandmother's account, had it delivered to the house. But guess what he did? Guess what he did that a lot of adults don't even do? He put in a tip of $32. Now, I know we've seen bangers go higher on a $230 order or way lower, but the kid's 4 years old. Now, so that's why I said if you have kids, you'll appreciate this. A 4-year-old did that? Trying to recall, because my guy's 15 now, so I'm trying to go back 11 years, but I don't think at 4 he could have pulled that off. I don't know, maybe. I don't think so, though. Let's see, what else? Hannibal discussed with you guys the movie The Gig Is Up, and they had a quick chat about it, even though they hadn't seen it, and even if I had been there, I hadn't seen it either, because I am stuck at home and in quarantine, and even though I'm feeling a lot better, I did watch it yesterday. And here's what I'll say. Obviously, you can tell that you know, by its name, the gig is up, and just by some of the description that it's not the best look at the gig economy, but it's actually pretty fair. I was expecting it to be pretty much leaning towards unions and how bad the companies do treat us, but it was more of a world perspective on this, and it gave a good look at to what could be coming. One of the facts that I took away that I thought was absolutely just huge was the analysis that they did, which was right now in the world, we have crossed over having 100 million gig workers around the world. By 2025, and they had this whole analysis done on a lot of things in the movie, but so watch it, they'll take you through it. But by 2025, the estimation is that 550 million people will have some form of their income coming from the gig economy, meaning gig workers. So, I mean, watch it. You know, you might not agree with a lot of it. I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. But that's just because I have hope still that it can go in different directions, and there are fixes, because even these companies don't want it to go to unionization, because that would hurt their bottom line more than regulations. That is the bottom line. Unions will just rip them, and they could call strikes, they could do this, plus the workers aren't going to be as readily available, and a lot of problems. So the companies, when it actually comes to it and they see a dark side, they will fight anything that will require a union. So yeah. The $19 million that Uber has been ordered to pay Australia, I wanted to touch on this real quick. It is for manipulation of fees, excuse me guys, in the Australia market, and it had to do with canceling. So they were telling people that if Uber does the same thing over there, if you cancel within 5 minutes, it's free. But anybody that was canceling within 5 minutes was getting a warning saying you'll be charged $5. And then it was dynamic if it did charge you or not. It didn't charge if you decided I'll cancel it anyway. It was like dynamic, but it was ended up being like 70% of the people who said, yeah, I still want to cancel even though I'll be charged, got charged. So now they're having to pay all those people back. But the bigger story in there was the second part. It was a two-part story in any article you read it on. Again, you can go to uberlyftdrivers.com and find it all. I've got all of those links up there, all this news that we're talking about. So the bigger story is that they were doing the same thing in Australia that they're doing in New York City with Yellow Cab. They were allowing people to book cabs through the Uber app and the deal that had been worked out. But what they were doing was raising the price of the cab. Oh, sorry guys. They were raising the price of the cab and not telling the cab company. So it was almost like they were bloating the price to make the Uber look cheaper. And my concern is that the same thing's going to happen in New York City while they're learning all their logistics, stealing all their data, learning everything about Yellow Cab, that they're going to do that same kind of thing. That if they see times where like, oh, these people are going to Yellow Cab, they'll just do maneuvers to do something like that. And that's a scary road. So ride-hailing drivers in Canada, welcome to your new regulation. Ride-hailing drivers in Toronto and soon to be Vancouver now have to get mandatory training before they can work any rideshare platform. It is a third party, kind of like the TFL over in London. It's not quite as long-term as the TFL in London, but you have to take and complete and pass a class before you can do rideshare in Toronto and soon to be Vancouver, and then soon to be some of the other provinces. So it's gonna sweep Canada real quick. They're just trying. This is how Canada works. It's always Toronto first, and then it's always Vancouver next, and then all the other big cities in the provinces. All the provinces follow. So let's see what else. Oh, I thought this was super scary and interesting. So the Defense Department here in the United States has created a new position, and they've already filled it. The new position is the military. It is it's dubbed the military's first chief digital and artificial intelligence officer. So they're giving that as a position they just created. They have already created it. They've filled it. Guess who it is? The chief AI technician from Lyft. Seriously? Seriously. Okay. I mean, wow. Hopefully you guys understood what I was just talking about. University, oh, excuse me, guys. University of Kentucky has a popular rideshare on the campus called, Wildcab. It is a free service for students that go to the university, and they provide free shuttle or free rideshare within the campus and the surrounding area to students between the hours of 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. For free. And now Uber has teamed up with them and will still continue to let them run the business without having to book the rides. And Uber's not going to charge them anything because it's a free ride. So guess why they're doing this? Because when I tell you guys that Uber gets in bed with countries, cities, all this so that they never, ever really get a heavy-handed fine or get kicked out, or that they always are in with the government for taking people to voting for free, to testing, to getting whatever, doctor's appointments, whatever. When they do that kind of stuff, it's because it builds a long-term relationship where when they drop the ball in that city, the city can't really come after them because they're like, dude, we do all that stuff for you. So, and it's not that much of a cost to Uber to run the operations of a small rideshare service for a college. So, obviously, these are things, guys, that, you just need to think about. The other thing, the last one I got here is Uber for elder care. New services provide companionship and give caregivers a break. I got to end this quick. My jaw's hurting and I'm running up on 12 and a half minutes. So, guys, I want to leave you with the thought, and we can talk about it tomorrow. Would you call Uber and want an Uber driver to go take care of your mother or grandmother for a little bit? Would you want an Uber driver to do that? Okay. See you tomorrow. Peace.